They were stretched very thin. And if they had denied this, and if the CM and the DCM who were seen on stage, don't get us wrong on this, every Congress functionary was on stage that day in full display, which means the event at the Vidhana Sauda had been held with the permission of the government. So if the police had actually, said that they couldn't hold it, obviously someone has vetoed that and allowed this event to go forward. So I would have expected the political fraternity and for sure the Home Minister to actually tender a resignation, or even if not tender a resignation, at least accept the responsibility, the accountability for the loss of life.
Mr. Bhaskar Rao, since you yourself have headed the police force in Bengaluru, what do you make of the suspension of the police commissioner, especially the fact now it is being said that, listen, if you did not want the festivities to take place on that particular day, if you wanted it to be postponed, why did you not give it in writing? And for that, that mistake, he has got the short end of the stick. Do you think that the commissioner was found wanting?
This government has been making blunder after blunder, trying to protect its chief minister and its deputy chief minister and its home minister for the kind of fiasco it has landed in. It is only looking for scapegoats in the form of police commissioner, additional commissioner, deputy commissioner, RCB, etc., etc. What was the need for the government, first of all, to do this celebration in such great hurry? That is where the problem starts. They engaged a chartered flight from Ahmedabad to Bangalore at government cost, put these people in 5-star hotels, and then buckle under pressure to hold this felicitation in less than 24 hours. Just because a few players wanted to fly out of Bangalore towards London. They have completely come under their words. There is no time to prepare. Just as my co-panelist mentioned, Bangalore City Police were already stressed out doing bandobast 9 hours. I myself saw that celebration and frenzy was going on till late in the morning, also up to 7:30, 8 o'clock. People were riding three-wheelers and tax, etc. The monumental publicity stunt which Congress has tried to play, trying to so-called identify with the youth, etc., has backfired very badly.
No, but Mr. Rao, here's what the official suspension order. Just give me 30 seconds because I want to add to what you're saying. According to the official suspension order, it has been said that the police commissioner was informed in advance about the event. The CEO of RCB had formally intimated his office on the 3rd of June itself that we'll be taking out a victory parade and a celebrations. But the commissioner's office did not give them a written response saying, no, you cannot do it. And which is why there was a cycle of events set in motion, which resulted in the tragedy.
Not giving a reply with the police commissioner is not deemed to be a permission granted. Let it be made clear. They cannot take umbrage under that law of that. The police commissioner has got a lot of better things to do. For them, procession is important. The police commissioner has to protect the city. Just because he had not replied, that does not mean that permission was granted and he is expected to do bandobast over. That's a very immature charge laid against the Commissioner of Police in that suspension order, which is now doing the rounds on the internet also. This will get washed, and that is not the way to suspend. If you want to suspend, you should have better preparation also to suspend. You wanted to suspend, you could have had better grounds to suspend also. They could not give proper orders even for the conduct of the program also. Suspension of the police commissioner is the most unfortunate thing, most unwanted thing, and it's a very sort of a nervous and panicky behavior on the part of the government to quickly find some scapegoat because they have to answer the court. So it is absolutely unprofessional, unethical, and incorrect, needs to be condemned. And the police commissioner, because I have been a police commissioner and I have served under police commissioner, police commissioner is like a huge banyan tree under which all the other police officers work. So if you go and axe the banyan tree, who will have the courage to take action? And in police, number of times we take oral orders, execute oral orders over there. Something goes wrong also. Police commissioner is there to protect us. And he is the one who enjoys the confidence of the chief minister. If the chief minister has lost the confidence of the police commissioner, this means the government itself failed. Thank you.
But in that case, also Mr. Menon, if you have already said that there was a huge failing on part of the police reports to the government then you have yourself admitted the culpability of the Home Department. Like you said, Mr. Parmeshwara, in a sense, has indicted himself by saying, yes, my police messed up. So I messed up because I hold that ministry.
Absolutely. I think, and that's where it's extremely unnerving that, that the political class, which actually enjoyed the entire benefit of this whole parade that we saw yesterday, has completely washed their hands off. And I think, this is a wake-up call to the administration, to the bureaucrats, to police commissioners that, if they certainly feel that things cannot go their way, they need to veto it and they need to hold their ground, because, the political class is just going to drop you, and it's probably better to have an honorable discharge versus a dishonorable suspension. And I think that's where the entire power has actually shifted over to the political class, and that's very unfortunate because our institutions are being compromised. I'm sure yesterday there was a dictate that came from the Chief Minister's office or the DCM's office to ensure that this parade was conducted the very day after the victory. If this had been pushed to Saturday or Sunday, this could have been much better planned. 3 lakh people, 4 lakh people could have shown up, and everything would have been fine. There could have been ambulances, there could have been, other amenities that are typically necessary, even for a 10K run. I mean, I've seen how well organized it is in the city. The police, that way, I should say they're stretched very thin. I've spoken to a lot of traffic constables sometimes. It's very unfortunate. And then they take the blame for the whole thing. So I think, if they had an iota, a shred of honor in them, I think Mr. Parameshwara should first at least accept responsibility for this.
Respond to that, then, Mr. Hanumanthaiah.
After the inquiry is done with, reinstate Mr. Dayananda. I think, he's taking the brunt of this entire episode on his shoulders. I don't think it's fair. I don't think it's fair.
It was bad enough.
As a Bangalorean, I don't think it's fair.
Mr. Hanumanthaiah, it was bad enough that there was carelessness. But in trying to cover that up, do you think you've made things worse? Like Mr. Menon was saying over here, who has worked with your party, has worked with your government, you can't simply make the police commissioner of Bengaluru a fall guy for mistakes that were made all around.
No, it is true. It is true. But the police commissioner would have set it right.
How?
If he has thought over properly on the issue, thought over what is going to happen tomorrow with 2 to 3 lakh people are coming, he should have stopped this kind of mess. So he has to face the tune. So
why?
What the government decision taken.
The CM, deputy CM could have done all of that thinking as well, right? Why should the police commissioner be the only one doing all the thinking? When the CM was at Vidhan Sauda getting pictures clicked, and when the deputy CM was at the Chinnaswamy stadium getting pictures clicked, why didn't all these thoughts cross their mind?
See, the commissioner, I was talking about yesterday, before this tragedy going to happen, yesterday what would have been the scene? They should have thought of doing what all precautions for the procession. If not procession, what will happen? Where should be the function? And if the function is there, what is the amount of people who are going to gather there? These things has to be worked out by the police officers. What else they are to do? So when that is the case, when they have failed in their duties, what is wrong the government taking such a drastic steps? A
Mr.
sensible government will definitely
Mr. Bhaskar Rao, did the commissioner not apply his mind?
The commissioner was bulldozed into agreeing to carry out the function. If you look at the sequence of events, even the permission to conduct the program inside Vidhan Sauda, the permission of DPR has to be obtained. No such permission was obtained. And that entire area which thousands of people had gathered is a absolutely sensitive central business district portion in which no function permission is granted. How can the government itself violate that law? So many drones were flying around in front of the High Court, in front of Vidhan Sauda, near the Raj Bhavan. Nobody else is permitted to carry out a function on this. How is it was done? Why was it function held in two different places. Who gave permission? No permission was granted by the police commissioner. So why do you blame the police commissioner? It was your uncontrollable, extraordinarily hyperactive deputy chief minister who was seen everywhere. Airport, Vidhan Sauda, as well as stadium, felicitating, honoring, kissing the cup, lifting the cup, etc., etc. Now when it comes to blame and death of these people, police has to be blamed.
Mr. Hanumanthaiah.
What kind of logic?
Yes, and how do you expect the police commissioner to stand up to the chief minister and say, no sir, you should not have this function at Vidhan Sauda. I don't have enough policemen.
I heard what Bhaskar Rao has said. See, before taking a decision of conducting a function inside the stadium, the permission was not granted. Permission was not sought by the organizers. See, when that was the case, they should have straight away told the organizers.
Then why did Deputy CM go there, sir? Why did Deputy CM go there? If the fault is of the organizers and you've booked them, then you booked the Deputy CM. Why did he legitimize an illegal gathering through his presence?
My point is, if the permission is not sought by them to the police commissioner and to the police station concerned, how can they conduct the function? That is the first question. The dereliction of duty by the Urban Park Police Station in charge.
The governor also.
He has been suspended now, along with the officers
it's
there.
It's a state function, says Mr. Bhaskar Rao.
My problem is, when that permission was not granted, how the police have allowed to function to be organized there
become a state function. Illegal state function.
When they pretty well knows that only 35,000 people can be accommodated inside the stadium, and there will be 3 lakh people outside the stadium. You know about it. And you also know people will going to come tomorrow in big number because yesterday was the victory. Yesterday was the celebration. You have seen the whole Bengaluru youths were on
Mr. Menon, what do you make of this? You know, it seems wisdom in hindsight is 2020 and all the wisdom, the repository of that should have been the police commissioner. Nobody else was giving it a thought. All these things about numbers and capacity didn't occur to anyone, but somehow the police commissioner should have thought of it all.
Well, you know, I mean, they're just tying themselves up in knots over here, believe it or not. I mean, there is, I mean,
what is the Home Minister's duty?
He's been a former commissioner. You know, the Congress party today has really, let me, if I can use this parlance, screwed up. I think, you know, Mr. Hanumanthaiah here, by his own admission, says that they didn't seek any permission. You know, so if they didn't seek permission, and then, you know, the fact of the matter is, whoever tweeted that they were going to have a free event, he is culpable. Because at the end of the day, if the RCB leadership went ahead and tweeted that there's going to be a free event without having received permission.
Yeah, you're right, Mr. Menon. He has tweeted and he is in jail. But, for example, the Karnataka Cricket Association has said that, look, we didn't even organize it single-handedly. It was a decision by the state government. So, if you want to book us, what about them?
Right.
Don't deflect all blame onto us. You simply can't shrug off all responsibility.
Right, and you know, just the fact that you know that you haven't responded does not mean that you've accused and given permission. So I think, you know, I think this is obviously a case of the government in power passing on the buck. I think Mr. Parameshwara, by his own admission, if he could suspend you know, the police commissioner, I think he should have taken responsibility. I won't go as far as saying he should have resigned, but if he had an iota of honor left in him, he would have taken responsibility and protected his organization. I mean, at the end of the day, you know, people, politicians do take responsibility, and in yesteryears we've seen people do that. But I think today what has happened with our ilk of politicians is that they're so hungry for power, they do not want to have a blemish on their record. They're willing to sacrifice someone else, make someone else a scapegoat. And Mr. Hanumanthaiah, I'm extremely sorry,
has said our intelligence is failed.
You are contradicting yourself on this, because you say that they did not seek permission. If the CM and the deputy CM was seen on stage, shouldn't they have understood that there was obviously no permission for this? Why was an event held at the Vidhan Sauda? That itself makes them culpable. If the event was only at the Chinnaswamy Stadium, I can understand the government washing its hands off. But if there was an event in full-blown view at the Vidhan Sauda with all of the Congress functionaries, you know, bringing their kith and kin, this was just for them. This was not for anyone else. I didn't see a common man. I didn't see anyone else on stage with them. I saw all of them, reveling with all of the cricketers. And I think, they should take the blame for it. I mean, it's not fair. It's just not fair.
Mr. Hanumantaiah, and these are common Bengalurians who are saying, look, you cannot find scapegoats and say he messed this up, he messed that up, there was no intelligence. Mr. Your former MLA has spoken about it, your current MLA has spoken about it. Soumya Reddy's father, Ramlinga Reddy, has said that there was total intelligence failure. If there was intelligence failure, is that also the Bengaluru Police Commissioner's fault?
No, it is intelligence department has to take that blame.
Only
and
the
he has to
department.
be punished for that.
Not the minister who the department reports to. Only the department.
Listen. The function which was conducted in the Central District of Bangalore, it was directly under the Police Commissioner and the concerned PSI and the DCP.
What about the function that was held at the Vidhan Sauda?
All of them.
What about the function that was held at the Vidhan Sauda?
How do you say that?
Who called
How do you
for
say
it?
that? It is
Who
wrong.
called for the function at the Vidhan Sauda? Who called for the function at the Vidhan Sauda?
No, Vidhan Sauda function the permission was granted. Permission was granted.
Why was it granted? Why was it granted?
Nothing has happened.
Why was it
See,
granted?
Sauda,
When the police commissioner had said in advance that it is unadvisable, why was permission granted? An overworked police force was stretched to the seams. Why?
No, listen. For the function at Vidhan Sauda, the permission was granted by the police. The procession was not conducted under the advice of the Home Minister. They said it is not advisable to go in a procession from Vidhan Sauda to stadium because untoward incident may take place. That they have followed it.
Naturally, permission has to be granted, Mr. Hanumantaiah. If the Chief Minister calls for a function, would any police commissioner in his right mind say, no, Mr. CM, I will not allow you this moment of self-glorification. I will not allow you to have this photo op. Obviously, the police has to grant. Okay, Bhaskar Rao wants to respond.
Vidhan Sauda function, police commissioner is not the authority. DPR is the authority. DPR itself has not given permission. Police commissioner has no jurisdiction inside Vidhan Sauda, Hanumantaiah, sir. Sir, you are a very senior person.
Permission was granted, however. No. Whoever has to give the permission.
Today, sir. You know everyone. Everywhere. You have defended
Whoever has to give the permission. I am sure Vidhan Sauda function was done under the permission of the police also, along with the government.
No. By police, but permission is given by DPR.
You can get it clarified. You can get it clarified. But only place where the permission was not granted is...
Just for the clarification of our viewers, I think Mr. Bhaskar Rao is referring to the Directorate of Public Relations, the DPR, which reports to the Government of Karnataka.
Director of Personnel and Administrative Reform, DPR is the department under which the Vidhan Sauda function. They give permission, not the Police Commissioner, Hanumantaiah, sir. Sir, you kindly get your facts correct.
That was permitted. That was permitted. There was no stop in that. And there, one more thing. Whatever function happened at Vidhan Sauda, there was no untoward incident. People were accommodated. They were in lakhs. They were accommodated there.
All right, if your justification for having a function on a day like that is that, oh, nothing happened, hence it makes it perfectly legitimate. I leave it to the wisdom of the people watching and to your wisdom. But sir, the simple fact is that if there has been a loss of lives and if you're admitting that there were lapses, to simply scapegoat some officials, some private entities, is that enough? I will let the people decide. For the time being, thank you very much for joining us on In Your Interest.
$2.5 lakh strong legacy and counting. Join the big league with the XUV 700 with celebratory offers up to Rs 75,000.
टेरर और टॉप एक साथ नहीं हो सकते। दशक में भारत ने $2 लाख करोड़ अपनी इकोनॉमी में जोड़े। 25 करोड़ लोग गरीबी से बाहर निकले हैं।
After surrender jibes over Operation Sindhu, Rahul Gandhi has launched a fresh attack on the Modi government, this time targeting its economic policies. He pointed to declining two-wheeler and car sales along with a dip in the mobile market as evidence of economic distress. Rahul Gandhi also emphasized the need for a political approach grounded in the realities of everyday life, addressing the financial pressures faced by ordinary Indians. But are these claims factually correct? What do industry figures actually show? Let's take it one by one. The first claim is that two-wheeler sales have dropped by 17%. Rahul Gandhi in this case is referring to the monthly sales of April 2025 vis-a-vis April the previous year. But once you zoom out and see the larger picture, a report by the Society of Indian Automobile Manufacturers or SIAM shows that the sales have actually increased by 9.1% in FY25 over the previous financial year, which means that the auto segment is actually witnessing a good growth momentum. Rahul Gandhi also claimed that car sales have dropped by 8.6%. In fact, the same report that I spoke of shows that passenger vehicles posted their highest ever sales of 4.3 million units in this financial year, with a growth of 2% as compared to FY 2023-24. The next industry that the Congress MP has targeted is the fledgling mobile phones industry. Rahul Gandhi said that sales have dropped by 7%. He's citing a 7% Q1 drop in mobile shipments, but here's what he has missed out. According to International Data Corporation's worldwide quarterly mobile phone tracker, India's smartphone market grew 4% year over year, with shipments reaching 151 million units, again a case of cherry picking. And finally, he blamed the Modi government for rising cost of essentials such as household items, rent and education. For this, he didn't really give any data, but the All India Consumer Price Index, which measures inflation, is 3.16%, which is a 6-year low, and that is why RBI has announced a rate cut, which normally, and it follows to logic, it would not happen during a time of high inflation. It is the opposition's job to keep the government honest and on its toes. They should question them on matters that affect the common man, but what they also need to do is bring out the full and unadulterated facts without tweaking them to their convenience to make a political point.
Here, the big daddy of SUVs.
What is to the nines? In literal terms, it's perfection. But to us, it's not just a phrase, it's an attitude. One that starts at your desk and sends a statement to the world. To the nines is about taking charge. It's a way of life where every seam, every fold, is crafted with excellence. It's timeless elegance and uncompromising quality made for the corner office. It's the ideas that inspire redefining order and elevating the tabletop. To the nines, for the leaders of today and the visionaries of tomorrow.
This is India's #1 news network, and you're watching News 9, English news as it should be.
Big developments continue to come in the aftermath of the Bengaluru Stampede that rocked Chinnaswamy Stadium. Among other developments coming in, Karnataka's ADGP Intelligence, Hemant Nimbalkar, has now been transferred alongside Chief Minister Siddaramaiah's political secretary, Govt, who has also been removed from his post. 4 officials associated with RCB franchise and even partners DNA Entertainment have been arrested in connection with the tragic incident that claimed multiple lives in Bengaluru. The Karnataka High Court has stepped in, issuing an order restraining the police from taking any coercive action against the Karnataka State Cricket Association officials who are also named in the FIR. Now, political backlash is intensifying. Both BJP and JDS have staged protests accusing the Congress-led government of making police officers scapegoat to divert the blame. Fresh FIRs have been registered based on complaints from injured victims, including one Roland Gomes. The case now names RCB, KSCA and DNA Events as accused.
My Honorable Chief Minister was kind enough to announce a judicial inquiry. What we have found, what we have got internally, so action has been taken on some of them. Investigation is going on. The magistrate investigation, a judicial investigation, and again the cases has been referred to the COD. What more a government can do? The government has done its best to give justice and see that we will come out with a plan of action with such type of events in the future.
Welcome back. You're watching News 9. Prime Minister Modi launched multiple development projects worth over 46,000 crore rupees at Katara in Jammu and Kashmir earlier today. This was Prime Minister Modi's first visit to Jammu and Kashmir since the Pahalgam terror attack. Now, during his visit, Prime Minister also inaugurated the Chenab Bridge, historically the world's highest railway arch bridge. The Chenab Bridge is an architectural marvel standing on at 359 meters above the river. This is a 1,315-meter long steel arch bridge and is designed to withstand seismic activity and strong winds. The Prime Minister will also and has also in fact laid the foundation stone of the Sri Mata Vaishno Devi Institute of Medical Excellence in Katara, worth over 350 crore rupees. The Prime Minister also flagged off Vande Bharat trains between Katara and Srinagar.
आज का ये कार्यक्रम भारत की एकता और भारत की इच्छा शक्ति का विराट उत्सव है। माता वैष्णो देवी के आशीर्वाद से आज वादी कश्मीर भारत के रेल नेटवर्क से जुड़ गई है। मां भारती का वर्णन करते हुए हम श्रद्धा भाव से कहते आए हैं, कश्मीर से कन्याकुमारी, ये अब रेलवे नेटवर्क के लिए भी हकीकत बन गया है। दुनिया का सबसे ऊंचा रेलवे आर्च ब्रिज है। लोग फ्रांस में, पेरिस में एफिल टावर देखने के लिए जाते हैं और ये ब्रिज एफिल टावर से भी बहुत ऊंचा है। अब लोग चिनाब ब्रिज के जरिए कश्मीर देखने तो जाएंगे ही, ये ब्रिज भी अपने आप में एक आकर्षक टूरिस्ट डेस्टिनेशन बनेगा। सब लोग सेल्फी पॉइंट पर जाकर के सेल्फी निकालेंगे।
इस रेल के ख्वाब बहुत लोगों ने देखे, यहाँ तक कि कश्मीर को बाकी मुल्क के साथ जोड़ने का ख्वाब अंग्रेजों ने भी देखा था, लेकिन वो पूरा कर नहीं पाए। उनका ख्वाब था कि उरी झेलम के किनारे जो है वो रेल लाके कश्मीर को बाकी मुल्क के साथ जोड़ें, लेकिन आज जो अंग्रेज पूरा नहीं कर पाए वो आपके हाथों पूरा हुआ और जम्मू कश्मीर, कश्मीर की वादी को बाकी मुल्क के साथ जोड़ दिया गया। इस मौके पे मुझसे बहुत बड़ी भूल होगी अगर मैं पूर्व प्रधानमंत्री जनाब अटल बिहारी वाजपेयी साहब का इस मौके पे शुक्रिया ना करूं।